8:20, our guest this morning on the Fox 43 Capitol Beat was just elected to his second term in Congress, representing Lancaster and parts of York County. We welcome Lloyd Smucker back to the program. Congressman, we were joking just before. First off, thank you for coming in. We could talk for 60 minutes. We have 6 minutes.
Right.
There's so much going on right now, and I want to start with kind of the changing landscape of Washington, D.C. politics. You have new constituents this time around. Your party is also no longer the majority party. What has been the most challenging aspect for you since January?
Well, it's great serving about 60% of York County. It's wonderful people here. We have 2 new offices here, so it's wonderful to get to know folks here. In D.C., it's a different environment. You know, we just saw a poll from CNN today. 71% of the American people think the economy is working very well or better than it had been. It's the best evaluation of the economy since 2001. Our
and
policies,
I know that the tax bill was one of
Yes.
your kind of passion projects.
Yeah, we're all about more money in people's pockets and more choice for the American people. What we see now with Democrats controlling is less freedom. It's more government regulation. But we have a great track record. I think the American people are seeing the benefit and the results of that.
You bring up government regulation, which is a roundabout segue to talk about what happened in New Zealand. And we saw that this was a terror attack, which was essentially live streamed across social media. And if something like that were to happen on Fox 43, the FCC would come down on us. There's regulations for that. Do social media companies, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, do they need to be regulated so that they don't have the ability to live stream things like this?
I mean, of course, it was a horrific attack, and it's unthinkable that that was live streamed and then retweeted multiple times and reposted. No, we cannot allow social media to be used in that way. These companies need to ensure that there are filters in place that would prevent that. If they can't do it, then I think we have to look at how we think about social media. So we just simply cannot give killers that kind of platform.
This type of killing was a rarity in New Zealand, and unfortunately it's all too commonplace here in the United States. What can Congress do? What is Congress doing to make sure that these mass shootings don't happen anymore?
Well, it's a difficult problem, but there are things that we can do. I voted for a bill that would fix the universal background check system that is currently in place, would require all states to participate, would require better reporting from federal agencies. We saw in some of the killings that occurred here, breakdowns in the system. We need to fix that.
Asking you this because you represent a large Muslim community in the city of Lancaster. And I know the New Zealand Prime Minister came out this week asking President Trump for love and sympathy shown towards Muslim communities, and he expressed support for New Zealand as a whole, but didn't say necessarily Muslim communities. Do you want to hear more from the president? What are your thoughts and what's your message for the Muslim community in Lancaster that is hearing this?
Do have a strong Muslim community in Lancaster, friends of mine, working to bridge those, what we sometimes see as divides between people of different religious faith, different cultures. It's important that we continue to do that. Every individual should have the freedom to worship in the way that they want to worship without fear of the kind of thing that we saw happen in New Zealand.
But do you want to hear more from the president in support of the Muslim communities?
I think it's important. I think the president, of course, has spoken about the Muslim community, should continue to do so. Every one of us should recognize that we are a country with freedom of religion, and we should protect everyone's right to worship freely.
Shifting gears to President Trump's national emergency declaration, and what we're seeing now is a possible veto override. It's kind of gone back after the president vetoed it. You voted not to, or let me backtrack. You voted against. It's complicated here. You voted against the decision to not go against it. It's weird like that. But I know 12 Republican senators did.
Right.
Why did you vote the way you did?
So I think the president had concern if new precedent had been set, but I spent some time reviewing the National Emergencies Act, which was passed by Congress in 1976. The president is fully within the rights of that law. He's not setting a new precedent. There have been 59, I believe, emergencies declared since then. It's clear there's an emergency on the southern border.
But none that takes the money that he's spending. This is the most money that's being spent from a national emergency.
So there's another section of the law, Section 2808, which specifically allows the president to take dollars that had been allocated for construction of a military facility and move that to another area to address an emergency. And that's exactly what he's doing here. No new dollars are being appropriated. No new dollars or no new precedent is being set. There's a clear emergency. I do think, and I've written a letter to the majority leader, I think we should take this opportunity to review the Emergency Law Act that is in place to ensure that there is a proper balance between Congress and Congress has the proper oversight when an emergency is declared.
I want to get you out of here on this. You just introduced a pair of bills designed to fill empty jobs in this country, essentially. Just reading over it, explain how this would impact people in the United States who aren't citizens but currently on visas.
Over 7 million jobs available today. Two bills. One would incentivize businesses to invest in the workforce development and education, apprenticeship programs, career and technical education, and so on. The other would provide a legal visa program. It would eliminate illegal immigration, but provide for a visa program for a variety of industries who simply cannot find people today to fill the spots that they have available. We have a great economy. We have to keep it going, and to do that, we have to address some of the workforce shortages that we have. Congressman
Lloyd Smucker, thank you so much for spending your time with us here on the Fox 43 Capitol Beat this morning. We'll be right back with more Fox 43 Morning News. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really do appreciate it.